All right, so congratulations to Barcelona Football Club for being crowned champions of the La Liga. So, hours ago, they beat Espanyol away from home at the RCDE Stadium to be crowned champions of the La Liga for the 28th time in their history. What a job they've done this season. They started the season not so good. At some point, you could see them struggling under Hansi Flick. But then later in the season, they were able to find their mojo. They were able to put the pieces together and they run riot, as far as the La Liga is concerned. There's a team that has scored 97 goals already in the Spanish La Liga, and there's 2 more games to be played. They've only conceded 36, and they have, a winning percentage of 75%. Actually, that's quite remarkable, considering the fact that at some point they were trailing Real Madrid by a whooping 8 points. Madrid slacked at some point. They were also struggling. They faced, some rough patches. But then Barcelona, with these young boys, a chunk of these players have been, promoted from the La Masia. That's the Barcelona Academy. So you talk about the likes of Gavi, Lamine Yamal, Eric Garcia. These are all players who were promoted from the La Masia. It tells you how strong the Barcelona Academy is. But there's been some players who have really thrived and they've really impacted this Barcelona victory in the La Liga. You talk about Lamine Yamal, the 17-year-old, whom most Barcelona fans feel should be a worthy recipient of the Ballon d'Or, which to me is quite upset. But then, he has shouts of there are people actually backing Lamine Yamal to win the Ballon d'Or. Not just him, but then also the Brazilian Rafinha, who has been impeccable this season for Barcelona. One interesting thing about Rafinha was that he was nearly forced out of the club during the last summer transfer window when Barcelona felt he was surplus to requirements because Xavi just couldn't get the better out of him. But then Hansi Flick came in, and all of a sudden, this guy is playing so well. And for me, if you talk about Rafinha leading the pack or leading the candidates to win the Ballon d'Or, then it will make sense to me because there's a guy who has contributed to 50 goals and assists throughout the season for Barcelona. Not just him, but then the marksman for this team has to be the experienced ever, present Robert Lewandowski at the number 9 position. He's also scored 25 goals for Barcelona this season in the league alone. Overall, he scored 40. But you can't negate his, impact or his contributions to the team's success as far as the league is concerned. So 28th league title back, it means that Barcelona have won the treble this season after beating Real Madrid in the Supercopa España final and then also in the Copa del Rey final. It means that with this one in the bag, they've won 3 trophies under coach Hansi Flick. The only trophy that eluded them this season was the UEFA Champions League, where they dramatically lost to Inter Milan at the Giuseppe Meazza a couple of weeks ago, which I believe Barcelona fans haven't still recovered from that shocking defeat. But that aside, you talk about their season in general, it's been great, watching them play high-tempo football, pressing, scoring lots of goals. In total, Barcelona have scored 169 goals across all competitions, and they've conceded only 69. So you're looking at the goal difference, and that's a whooping 100 goals. It tells you how efficient and how effective they've been, attacking teams. But a lot of credit, I believe, will go to their manager, that's Dieter Hans Flick. This guy has done a great job. So Xavi was sacked after the end of last season. There was quite some turmoil, a lot between Xavi and then also the management of Barcelona. So Xavi decided to step up after winning the league 2 seasons ago with Barcelona, even on a relatively lower budget. But then Hansi Flick came in and everyone thought, this football wasn't going to work. It wasn't sustainable playing with a chunk of 17-year-olds and some experienced players who are in their 38s and, getting closer to 40. But then Hansi Flick pulled off, a rabbit from the hat. He did absolute magical with this team, leading them to 3 trophies in just his maiden season. And even to, add the fact that they finished in the top 4 or in the final 4 of the UEFA Champions League makes it even more impressive. One interesting thing about Barcelona winning the La Liga title after their game against Espanyol was the fact that they couldn't celebrate on the pitch. This is not the first time it's happening. Remember under Xavi 2 seasons ago when Barcelona went to the Espanyol stadium, they won the title over there. But unfortunately, due to their bitter rivalry between themselves and the Espanyol, they were not allowed to celebrate on the pitch. Same thing happened hours ago after Barcelona were officially crowned champions of the La Liga. Guess what? They couldn't celebrate on the pitch because they were on enemy territory. Isn't that interesting to hear? Yes, so that was what happened. Barcelona winning the title, but then failing to celebrate because they knew it could have stirred, some sort of a riot. So they had to respect themselves, head back to their dressing room, maybe head back to the Camp Nou or even the Luis Company Stadium, the stadium they've adopted for the meantime, and celebrate. But then once again, congratulations to Barcelona for winning the 2024-25 La Liga title.